Hello everybody, it is I, Cool, back again, and today I'm proud to present a review of Supercharged Dusty Crophopper from Planes, the 2013 film that everybody loves. Of course. Supercharged Dusty is one of the last Dusty variants I needed to complete the collection. I believe now I am only missing Racer Dusty and Vitamin Daredevil Jones Dusty. Every other variant of Dusty is in my collection. Well, almost. There's technically Strut Jetstream Dusty, but I have the plastic one. I've had it since 2023. Not 2023. I think it was 2024, actually. I say that because recently I acquired a lot that had both this Dusty and Jolly Ranch's Dusty, who will probably be my last Dusty for a while, because, again, I really doubt I'm going to get the other two anytime soon, because, well, you know, they're really expensive. Planes items in general are really expensive these days, so, you know, eventually, even Supercharged Dusty, who is a pretty common release, will become really expensive, and he sort of is. It's really hard to find one in super good condition. I had to skimp out and get an item that's not in the best condition. But, you know, that's kind of the point of this item. This Dusty is after he has an accident that causes him to, you know, need all of his parts to be replaced. And the entire point of this Dusty is him fully upgraded to be more of a racing plane. So you can see here that Dusty has a lot of, like, really interesting upgrades. He has these sort of militaristic wings. I believe they're from a F-17 Shooting Star plane. He has a propeller that was part of Ripslinger's team. In one part in the movie, it's revealed that Ashani tried to get a new propeller from Ripslinger, or Ripslinger offered a new propeller in exchange for, you know, Dusty. But, you know, that ended up not going over well, and Ashani gave this propeller to Dusty. The wings were from El Chew, and interesting thing about this Dusty variant is that he's actually not accurate to how he's supposed to look in the movie. In the movie, his little exhaust pipe here is supposed to be the same as what it's supposed to be here. But this is inaccurate on the die casts for Supercharged Dusty and Jolly Ranch's Dusty. It's not supposed to be this big long piece. That's based on a part that Bulldog gives to him. It's like in a box. You could see it. So I think the intention was this was supposed to be part of Dusty, but, you know, obviously that's not what ends up happening. So yeah, very interesting. He's also supposed to have a number 7 on the wing. So yeah, that always stuck out to me. And I'm not sure if I prefer the diecast design or the final design, because I really do like these additional details. I think the long sort of exhaust pipe here helps him look more like a racing plane, because, you know, they have these more big, exaggerated parts. Like Bulldog, for example, look at his massive engines, and then look at Dusty. He looks more like a racing plane now. Even compared to someone like Pack-Rat, who's pretty modest in design. I can sort of see where this is coming from, and I think it, you know, works out pretty cool. So let's see here. We have his propeller, 4 prongs instead of the original 3 propellers that he had back in, you know, when he was just a crop duster. So weird having, I guess technically, I can't say I've completed a Dusty collection. I have now gotten every single Dusty from the first movie, technically. I don't need any of the others because, you know, I did it. I completed the Planes 1 Dusties, and that's all that I really wanted. So, alright, let's see here. We got the Jolly Ranch's logo repainted onto him. Here's what it looked like originally. And here's what it looked like on Qualifying Dusty. I noticed that on Qualifying Dusty, the Jolly Ranch's logo was rather massive compared to the much tinier look on the Racer Dusty. Or no, Racing Dusty. Racer Dusty is what he looks like in the second movie. I don't know why it's so inconsistent, although I actually have a theory. Sort of. Because, okay, this Dusty is made in Thailand. This Dusty is made in China. This Dusty is made in Thailand. And this Dusty is made in China. This is the 2014 release, as you can see on the bottom here. Yeah, 1144EA. So I believe this is actually the Planes Fire and Rescue re-release. That's the thing interesting about this Dusty is he was re-released for Fire and Rescue. Probably because they didn't have time to make Racer Dusty yet. And so they ended up just having to scramble and make this guy. So, yeah. Interesting that he was released for Planes too, even though this is exclusive to the first movie. Just want to let you all know that. He has this really cool blue stripe. It's the same as what he, has initially. Although it actually goes a little longer on him than before. Very interesting stuff. I think that this is sort of the final evolution of Dusty. After this, not a lot changes with Dusty's design. I didn't bring out his Planes 2 variants. I probably should. They're right underneath my desk here, so I should probably be able to get them. I'm probably just going to get out Firefighter Dusty. I don't really see the need to get Pontoons Dusty. They're the same model. So, Interesting decision with this Dusty variant is that this headpiece is actually plastic. You can see the window is just, built in, just like on here, which I actually never noticed as a child, but I noticed after getting these other Dusties who have the cabin be metal. I don't know how to feel about that, personally. It's a very interesting thing. He has the black parts on the wings. It's weird. It's weird seeing a, tiny dinky crop duster with these sort of militaristic wings. This actually ties into the inspiration of Planes. It came from, the actual inspiration for Dusty Crop Hopper came from a militarized crop duster. And they were like, what if we did that, but we also made him a racer? And so that's how Dusty was created. His wings feel a lot flimsier, a lot thinner than the regular Dusty variant. Yeah, this is sort of the default Dusty. This is like the most common Dusty you'll find online. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. On the bottom, we have his landing gear. It sort of folds out, similar to some of the other racers. I think the most comparable is, of course, Rip Slinger. Got caught in the riptide. So yeah, you can see how much of his design is similar to Rip Slinger. I like that, just like in the movie, Dusty is way smaller than Rip Slinger design-wise. But he feels so much more powerful. He looks so much more powerful than this. This just looks like a dinky toy plane. This guy looks like he would never win in a race against this guy. But this guy, ooh, he looks intimidating. I think it's the silver plating. It gives him the sort of shining armor sort of look. Really like, this is it. I love his expression. I love his little determined face. His mouth is a little weird. I don't know how to feel about it, but it does a good job. This Dusty's pretty iconic. To me personally, when I think of this Dusty, I think of these people that my family would often visit, and they had these two guys. And these two guys had a huge cars collection. They had some pretty interesting stuff. They had Radiator Springs McQueen, I think some mini adventures. They had like the weird remote control mini adventures from like that weird pack or something. It was like a trailer before the Road Trip series. And they had Disney Store Supercharged Dusty, who was, I believe, called Turbo Dusty. I think Supercharged works a little better than Turbo. I don't think Turbo really fits this design. But Supercharged perfectly encapsulates how just improved this Dusty design is. How much upgrades he's gotten. He's gotten all the upgrades, right? Like this is like when you upgrade your character in a video game and they have all the upgrades. Like if you guys ever play Sonic Adventure 2, you guys would know the feeling. This is like that, but with planes. So yeah, Dusty has a super slick design here. I always like the half, I think the black parts on the side just give to that feeling. It really does look like he's tricked out and he's fully been just improved in every single way. He has the silver plating, different color silvers, which I think is super impressive. I was going to say, I actually have another version of this guy. Yeah, I wanted to get the Micro Drifter Planes guy. I had an offer on him. I think you've all seen that review. So yeah, it's really funny having the big guy and the little guy. More specifically, thanks to my friend T Toy Reviews Ty, this Dusty has now been rechristened into, hey guys, it's me. I'm the Planes guy. Yeah, so for Ty's Christmas special last year, he and his friend made this guy the Planes guy. And it is genuinely funny how they used him in the film. I'm not going to spoil it because the Christmas Chaos film that he made is genuinely one of my favorite YouTube videos ever. It's so funny and so much like effort went into it. I want you all to see it. I might link it in the description because I think it's that good that I want people to see it. Anyways, over on the side, here's the number 7. You know, same as... That's the main thing I wanted to see is how does it compare to regular just racing Dusty? The 7's a lot different. The white part is all gone. I don't know how that happened. I guess they just had to repaint over that. Maybe, I don't know. His antenna is different. Again, that's somewhat consistent with Firefighter Dusty, kind of, because his is also a little different. Unless, actually, hold on, let me check something. Maybe I should have gotten Pontoon's Dusty out instead, because Firefighter Dusty is sort of the ending Dusty from that movie. Alright, hold on, this is a little difficult. Because I'm not looking, I don't know why, I'm just trying to hold the camera up. I'm checking if Pontoon's Dusty... Okay, no. No, Pontoon's Dusty also just has a different antenna. Okay, so it's just inconsistent. Actually, this reminds me, there is one other Dusty I'm missing, but it's technically not one I'm missing. For one of the, I think for a Comic-Con, they released a metallic Dusty. And I remember seeing it for a cheap price once, but I decided not to go for it because, me personally, I think I have enough Dusties, and I'd rather, you know, get a unique one than just a metallic version of one I already own that's super common, but... It was interesting seeing a metallic Dusty, and I would love to get it someday still, just because it's such an interesting concept. This is like, because we barely get metallic Planes items. We're really like Bulldog's Thailand variant here, because yes, this is made in Thailand, and Supercharged Dusty are really like the only metallic Planes items out there. There isn't really anything else. You know? And it's just interesting to me. I'm trying to rearrange all the Dusties. Over here is the D7. Again, pretty similar to what this guy looks like, but also different. You see all the silver plating. Although it's actually just a regular flat gray. I'm not sure how to feel about that. I kind of wish it was silver. I think that would have looked more consistent, even though it's supposed to look patchy. I think a good compromise would have been this shade of silver right here, where it's a little more gray. I would have liked that. I don't know, I just like the fact that it's metallic. It just looks good in the light. See? That looks so clean and so good, and then you get to this part, and it's just so flat, and it's like, oh. Maybe it's supposed to be primer. I wonder if that was the intention. I haven't seen the movie in a while. I actually recently got the DVD for Planes. Because I found out that the Planes Blu-ray and DVD is less than $10 online. Literally nobody wants it. And that's so funny to me. Over here, the side is a lot more scuffed. I guess this is one of those items where it being scuffed makes sense because the whole point is that it's just a rush job. It's supposed to look all messy and dirty and bad. But it also looks cool still. I actually really like this. This kind of looks like battle damage or something. You know, it looks pretty sick. Really like how it turns out here. Over here, again, the wing is supposed to have a number 7 on the side, but unfortunately that's missing. And again, a look at the bottom. There's the playset connector, made in China. Yeah, so I believe this is the original. Actually, no, not the original. This is the 2014 release for Planes Fire and Rescue. So, in conclusion, I think Supercharged Dusty is one of the coolest items in my collection. I'm super happy I grabbed him when I had the chance because I love this guy. He's so cool. and he's so nostalgic to me. This was the Dusty. I feel like this is the Dusty, you know? This is where Dusty peaks. You know, we have dinky little qualifying Dusty here. Like, oh, I'm a crop duster, I want to race. We have racing Dusty here. He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna race. And then we have Supercharged Dusty, who's like, I'm a racer now. You know, this reminds me of, you know what else this reminds me of? Mega Man X. I always loved Mega Man. Mega Man X, in that game, you constantly upgrade the character with armor pieces that you find. And they really made it so that you feel more powerful when you get all the upgrades. And this is basically that. Again, this is basically just when you upgrade your character with all the stats. And now, like, you can tell how just more improved he is. Again, quickly gonna compare the propellers of Supercharged and Ripslinger. These aren't supposed to be the same propeller, in case you're wondering. This is supposed to be the sequel to these ones, although I honestly think these ones are cooler because they can do that. Spin independently. I think that's pretty sick. Once again, I'm not going to compare him to Jolly Wrench's Dusty just yet because I want to save that one for a little later. But I am super excited to cover him. There's also one other item I got in that lot. You guys will see it soon, though. So cool seeing these two together at long last. I thought about getting a factory custom of Supercharged Dusty to make a certain other Plains item that exists but is so rare that I think it would just be easier to make a custom of it instead. So yeah, that's all I had to say about Supercharged Dusty. Really happy to have it, and I hope you all enjoyed the review, and I shall see you all around. Bye-bye!